E-I-E-I-E-I-O, 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 E-I-O, E-I-O, E-I-E-I-O. I think I'm back at Poco Weekend. How are you? I'm a few minutes late. It's 10:03, and where I be, I've been setting up in rapid fire. Fire, do do do, do do fire. The crazy world of Jack Willard instead of the crazy world of Arthur Brown. Hello, Cam Phillips. Yes, I said Cam. I don't know why. I don't know why, Karen. I should know that name, right? Ah, hi, Jack and all. Pam, nonstick Donley, no stick Pam. Hi. Rita Faye Tanner says, "What is this? Are you related to Biff Tanner?" I bet you've been asked that before. Hi from Central West Virginia. Already, come on here. I got a cough. I guess it's because of the speed I'm talking. I'll keep telling myself that. Oh, I'm a little blotchy tonight. I'm sorry. I didn't have my makeup artist Karen apply makeup. She applied some stuff earlier that was supposed to make you less blotchy, and nah, you got to cover it up. You got to cover it up. So I have not been in makeup. My apologies. My apologies. Uh, Brendan Noyce is here. Hello, Jack family. I'm still in the hospital. Popped on from your hospital bed. Well, there you go. What are they saying about your condition and their treatment plan, Brenda? Darlene Koberstein, hi, Jack and all. Tammy Griffin, hey, Jack, you're sure in a good mood. Well, see, here's the deal. I'm going to tell you a little secret, Tammy. um, Competition will think I'm being mean, but I'm not. You just got to work on the presentation. This is not the time to come on and say, "Gee, I'm on. Is it all right tonight? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Uh, 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 oh, I'm cutting out a little bit. The mic. No, I don't know. Is it all right? All right, all right." That is shite. Okay, that's not the way to begin a broadcast. Don't say you're not a broadcaster. Don't sell yourself short. You can do it, but it's not coming on like you have just ridden the upside down roller coaster uh, and saying, well, I'm not really a broadcaster. Well, um, I remember there was this DJ who they forced him to call himself Pete Moss. He wanted to be Bob Watkins. Good name. That was his real name. You could tell from listening to Bob, he was black, and they didn't have too many black jocks, if any, down at the castle when I was down there. Over the years, I'm trying to think of, well, they had news people that were black, but I can't think of another DJ. So it was really cool that Bob Watkins was black, but they didn't like that name. So they came up like they actually came up with the name for me at one point when I wanted to change my name in the overnights. They came up with Pete Moss, which he didn't like. Eventually, he started calling himself Peter Moss, and then he worked it out where he could just become Bob Watkins. So, anyway, maybe I'll talk more about that. Look at that. 31 already. So I guess what I'm saying, Tammy, is when I come in here before the camera, I'm supposed to be ready. Now, in this particular case, I came up kind of late, I cherished that time with Karen and we were watching Dark Shadows. Jeremiah is dead, but he's just stuck his hand out of the dirt when the lovely Catherine Lee Scott, who we will see on July 19th at Lyndhurst in Tarrytown. She was the widow and she had come to visit her husband and really caused his death, to be honest with you. And wouldn't you know, the hen came out of the dirt. Hmm. So, Darlene and Heather Feather is here. Peg Miller. Hi. Where are you watching from, Peg? How are you? Jupiter's Realm. Hey there, Jack and Chat. Nice to have you aboard. You're becoming a regular Jupiter's Realm. Belinda Taylor. Hi, Jack and everyone. Poor Belinda, when she visited Household of Faith the day before the service, she was wearing these blue jeans. And I don't know, she must have a tremendous moth problem in her drawers. Chest of drawers. Come on now. I mean, there were holes in those jeans all over the place. Holes. Now, even back in my day, the crazy 70s, I don't think we had the ripped jeans. We had the tie-dye jeans. One of my brown pair of pants that they put the bleach all over, it looked like I was a cow. My pants looked like, from the lower half, I was a cow. And we all know I was really a bull. Yeah, bull is associated with that description. Glad you're here, Belinda Taylor. I'm in Benton, Arkansas. Oh, Belinda, bet you'll be getting up early to see Pastor Bob again. We made it safely. Well, that's great. Drove 17 miles. Wow. That isn't far. I forget, you're close, right? You're close. Not even closer than Nancy DeMarco, who's in Oklahoma. Hi, Jack and family. Oh, 17 hours. Okay, that makes more sense. Wow. Wow. Marianne Rossi, not Donna Rossi. Hi, Jack and everyone. Welcome. Christian Tackett says, what kind of channel is this? This splotchy guy comes on and he's singing E-I-E-I-E-I-O. I'll tell that story later. That's a fun song we sing once a year at Villa Roma. Pam Donley, and what are you saying, Pam? It's going pretty fast, so I'm losing the stream. I have to go back. Jody Smith, evening. Jack with no C. I just got off work. That's a regular thing for you, isn't it? I want to hear that I'm taking a vacation day today. You deserve a break today, so get up and go away to Benton, Arkansas. Everybody else is. Let's see here. Donna Starkey. Hi, Jack and everybody. Hi, Donna. Where are you watching us from this humble Saturday night? You're watching live. Rita Faye Tanner, I'm going to try to get to Benton the first Sunday in June. That could be at the new location. That could be about 10 minutes from where they are now. I'm sure they'll put up the address. Some people already know it, of course, but they'll put up the address on the website. So don't go to the wrong place. And don't assume because there's some more seating that you have to get there late. You show up at 8:30, you could be in big trouble for a 10 o'clock service. That's all I can say. And I don't know about the overflow room yet. Anybody hear anything about the overflow room? Find out, Belinda. That's your assignment. What are they going to do for an overflow room there? It will be a long drive for me, too. Oh, for me, it's a long drive from New York. I don't even have my enhanced license yet. All the BS they put you through at the airport. And of course, that's not their fault, this enhanced. What do you think? What kind of documents did I supply to get the regular license? I'm pretty sure a birth certificate was involved. So I'm handing them what? The same documents, and we're calling it an enhanced license? No, it's not for me. but I'm being penalized. It's for the people that don't have any of that, that don't want to show their birth certificate, that, that they want that license, but they don't really have the documentation to get one. So because of that, and because it's a moneymaker, you got to get an enhanced license. Hey, Gail George, how are you? Tessie is here. Hello, Jack and all. Welcome to you. I love my ripped jeans. Well, they're the bomb, right? I mean, I'm not quite sure I understand it. I'm not saying as a man, the fleshly side. I'm talking about the fleshly side, not the spirit. The spirit and the flesh are at war with one another. I like that scripture from Paul, though, as he's making this big confusion. I think I invented a new word. His big confession in Romans 7, where it's not really me doing it, it's the sin that dwells in me. Sounds like something a guy would say. I'll tell that to Karen the next time she's picking up the frying pan. It's not me that did that, Karen. It's the sin that dwells in me. Let's see here. Well, look at that. I didn't even know the Grand Patriarch from West Palm Beach, Florida is here. He's all dressed in yellow today. Hits the thanks button right there down at the bottom for 1111, which was usually his usual number. I wonder why you picked that, Richard. I'm very thankful that you have hit the thanks button. You know that helps us make the June goal, which is what we're working on now. The June goal. Nancy Whitmore, and in honor Terry, in memoriam Terry Whitmore. Good evening, all. I'm in Eastern Ohio. I probably asked you this before. East, north, west, south. Don't tell me too much, Say I'm near such and such Ohio, and it'll mean a lot more to me, because I don't have a globe here, and I don't really know my northeast, west, and south so much. I mean, I know California. If I'm going to California, I'm going out west. I know if I'm going to Florida, I'm going south. North is kind of where I am, and east is also kind of where I am. Then there's southeast. Is that Florida? I don't know. But I'm glad you're here. If I was as close as you, I would be there every week. It is so worth it. Yeah. Jack, don't know how long my cell phone will last. They didn't bring my charger didn't bring my charger. Yeah, that's an important thing. You got to have somebody get that charger to you. Otherwise, you're watching it go down and you're stricken with anxiety. But hello to you and hello to all, says Richard Lyon, as does Sandra Fair. Well, she's saying hello to Brenda. Jupiter's Realm is only 2 years old, so that makes her our youngest viewer here. She's watching from the playpen. I mean, I don't know if you're a he or a she with Jupiter's Realm. I'm curious as to how you came up with that. It's kind of a cool name. How did you come up with it? Jack, I've been listening to some of your shows about Elvis's conspiracy. You never watch me, huh? Is it because of my blotchiness? I don't always have this blotchiness, See, for the longest time on YouTube, I was saying my listeners, and then I realized I'm not on the radio anymore. I'm on YouTube, and if people so choose, if not, you can use me as a radio as you're driving down the road. Don't look at the screen because you could get distracted. I've been listening to some of your shows about Elvis conspiracy. I'm believing that he actually did make it out. That's an interesting way to put it. Out of the prison known as Graceland, you mean? Jack, says Jody, the ones who aren't telling Pastor Bob Joyce's story correctly are the ones who have Elvis derangement syndrome. Not just that, though. I understand what you're saying. Just like there's obviously Trump derangement syndrome. James Comey is a victim, and now we'll see what happens to James Comey. Some of these Congress people, both male and female, that are a stench that should have never gotten the office, that are not worthy to have the office. Um, it just amazes me, take someone who uh, we all know, AOC. She goes once again. Now, she's just done tours with Bernie. And you say, well, it's Bernie that's bringing the people in. And he does bring a lot of people in their private jet. 33,000 people somewhere, wherever they went. I forget, was it Wisconsin, maybe? um, 33,000. She goes to Brooklyn, where there's a couple of hundred of her constituents, and they start screaming at her because she hasn't done a damn thing since she has been their congresswoman. Did I say Senate? Congresswoman. She hasn't done a damn thing. She's not about that. She's about her own agenda. She's about the progressive agenda. She's about supporting people that came in through came in through the back door. It's different from she came in through the bathroom window. Remember the medley from Abbey Road? Yes, Mr. McCartney. You're 100 miles due south. I like that, due south of Cleveland, Ohio. Are you a retired air traffic controller, Donna? Donna Starkey. Starkey. Have I known a Starkey? Richard, right? Yeah. Ringo is Starkey. Ringo Starr is Richard Starkey, correct? Yes. Are you from England? Let's see. Jackie Wurlitzer Oregon is here as well. And Brenda Sweeney. Hey, Jack and gang. Hey, Jack and gang. Hey there, lonely girl, my only girl. Won't you let me spend some time with you? I don't know if that's the lyric, but it sounded like it might fit. What do you think, Gail George? D. 26. Hello, everyone. Just stopped in to see what condition my condition was in. You want to say hi? We'll be watching on the flat screen. Well, that's good. Richard Lyon is there watching on his 72-inch flat screen in West Palm Beach, Florida. Hey, Marty Greco. Well, hello, hello, hello. How are you? How everything's still good with your health? No relapses, are there? No relapses? I haven't had the bronchitis in quite a while now. For some reason, I feel like, I don't know if it's some new drug I'm taking or whatever, that I'm stronger, feeling stronger every day. Oh, having played these songs on the radio, on my various radio shows, so many times something reminds me of a song. Rhonda Wolf. Hello, good folks. Good folks. Linda Justice as well. That brings us to 86. Only 29 likes. Please hit the like button. I hear that's important for more people seeing what we're doing, maybe joining us even live. So please hit the like button if you can. It's like a per show thing because according to Clinton Jaws, who I follow, and he does these really cool political videos exposing the progressives for what they are and the fake news crowd. We'll talk about the Bob Joyce topic in just a second, but here we are. It goes by so fast, 23 minutes in, so I'll have to put down the content start. But it's really going to be all off the top of my head, to tell you the truth. Although, no, just before air, I got two very interesting emails, which I appreciate that. J-Cat is here as well. Let's do Springsteen first. He's a jerk. I'm not going to say I never loved the Bruce Springsteen song. Um, Obviously, I like the more pop Bruce because I'm a pop guy. So Born in the USA, the album, with songs like Cover Me and I'm on Fire, kind of a naughty song. It's very well done. Um, and Dancing in the Dark, etc. Those are all great songs. But I've known for a while now that politically he was, he's not what you would call an intellectual. So you go over to the UK, and I want some of my UK friends to talk about this. If we have some UK friends, I want to hear exactly how bad things are getting over there. I can't believe I'm saying that about the UK. But he goes over to the UK audience, stops the show, and goes on to this long rant about things that are happening in the USA, the place he's made $1 billion out of. And Trump is this and that, a treasonous, indicating a dictator and what have you, assuming. Well, he probably doesn't care, but I think he assumes, nevertheless, that there are more of his fans that are progressives, like he's turned into, uh, than there are Trumpers. And I think he's probably got a fair amount of Trumpers. And like Tom Hanks, he's found a way to alienate them. So when Tom Hanks puts out a new movie, as much as I have loved him before, I never realized he hated me. So I'm not going to go see or watch that Tom Hanks project. I'm not going to watch it because just like I made a vow, I would never go in Target again, not 1 foot on the tile. And there is a way in the Galleria Mall, if you park in the back, to go through Target for just a second. You're in Target and out their doors to that parking lot. I can find another way. I always park in the front most of the time anyway. But when they started going after kids and trying to sexualize kids with their crazy ideas and were unapologetic, then the next thing you find out, Target has lost what, $1 billion, and now they're sorry. Piss off, piss off, George. I'm sorry. I could have said pee off. Elaine Peterson, hi, welcome to you. Where are you from? I think you've been here before, but Coldwater here. Coldwater, Georgia? Seems to fit, but I don't know. There should be a Coldwater, Georgia, if there isn't one. What do you think, Elaine? What do you think? What do you think there, Richard Lyon? Are you here, or did you just hit the Cash App and be a nice guy and then kind of sneak off into the abyss? Maybe there's something happening. Maybe there's a good movie on, for all I know. I don't know. But if that's the case, well, thank you for doing that first. So yeah, I was putting up this backdrop quickly and checking my email quickly, and the time was ticking away before my eyes. Yep, the boss alienated me. All right, it's just if you want to hear a really good rant with a lot of the F word in it, Fred Rubino. Fred Rubino, who lives both in the state of Florida and the state of New Jersey, traveling comic kind of thing, and he does a lot of stuff online. And he was saying he's talking about this in a state that has just made free speech basically illegal. If you put up something in the UK, I can't believe I'm even saying this. You put up something in the UK that someone finds offensive, you could be arrested. So this is why I desperately want anyone who's watching from the UK, whether it be here in the live show or in the replay, which will be available right after we end this broadcast tonight. I want to hear what's going on. Have you heard stories? Have any of your friends been locked up? Is this just idle? Who is this new prime minister that he would allow something like that? Now, he was just at the White House, and I remember him being a decent chap. I wonder if anybody questioned him about that. Want to talk about an authoritarian, and here's Bruce in the land of the authoritarian bashing the United States. That's just not cool. Wait till you get home and let us bash you here, you know? You don't do that when you're abroad or a man, even. Oh, that's a bad joke, Nancy DeMarco. Why did you give it to me before air, huh? Uh, Pam Nisley is here. She is marking herself here. She is present. I'm still here. Oh, I thought you might have slipped away like Dobie Gray. You want to get lost in that rock and roll and slip away. Hmm. Well, I'm glad you're still here. And how is Vivian Lee Lyon? Is she keeping you in check? Is she keeping you in check? Claudette, pretty little Claudette. Claudette. Hey, Jack. She's also only listening because she can't stand my blotchiness here. I forgot to put on my makeup. May sound weird, but you got to think of those things. Um, hey, Jack. Been listening. Hope all is well. Yeah, for the most part, it is. It was freezing, very frosty here where I am in Aussie land, 37.4 your temp. You gave me the point four, huh? What's the dew point there, Jackie? That usually has a point in it. Oh dear. Yeah, it's weird. So tell me about this Australian weather, Jackie. Do you have snow? How much snow? How often do you have snow? Do you never have snow, but it just gets cold? What about ice? Obviously, if it rains and it's under 32, you have ice. Okay. Put the cough drop in the mouth. Um, Same here in Oklahoma. What are you responding to? It can't be cold in Oklahoma if it's 100 degrees in Texas. Can it? I don't know. I don't know. As long as you don't get any of those twisters and you have to go running for the root cellar. John Wilson, love watching you from SW, Missouri, Southwest Missouri, and love all the Beatles songs you almost sing. Oh, I could sing a lot more. I love that sixth album. Did you purchase that back in the day, John, or are you younger than that? For yes is the, what do I want to say? Color. That doesn't make any sense. Oh yeah, no, it's in the song. Yes, it is. So blue, blue is the color that my baby wore, and once more it's true. Yes, it is. It's true. Yes, it is. It's true. The incredible John Lennon singing that, of course. It won't be long, yeah, 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 yeah. It won't be long, yeah, yeah. I mean, you're going back to my time, John Wilson. Here I was in Montreal, Canada when the Beatles broke in 1964. I'm pretty sure we were able to see my mom and I, Ed Sullivan, um, before my father came in Christmas time and rescued us. Not that Montreal was bad, it's just that I'm an American boy. I mean, ROCK in the USA. ROCK in the USA. Yeah, Sean Cougar Mellencamp. Hi, Faith Lloyd. Hi, Jack, and everybody. I hope Karen is doing well. Maybe a little better today. She, she still takes quite a bit of gabapentin. Her test is coming up. It's not to a week from this coming Tuesday. Her CAT scan. She really wants to go to her 50th class reunion, which is on the 20th of June. So we've got to get that deposit in. Well, it's not a deposit, it's the actual payment. And thank you. Thank you for Karen's 50th class reunion fee. Thank you. because that's where I'm going to take it from. uh, and yes, we're getting a new camera that will also be ordered next week, I believe. Was it 4G? I forget. 4K, 4G, something like that. So maybe things will be crispy clear. I mean, you'll really be able to see my blotching. Then I am 70 years old, young. Yes, I have I have them all from years ago. Really, how's your vinyl? Is it in good condition? So I was in Montreal in '64 when the Beatles broke. My mother bought me a big "Meet the Beatles" button. I guess it said "Meet the Beatles," black and white button. And then I got a blonde Beatle wig, which meant I was John Lennon. Well, why wouldn't she choose that for me when, that's my surname? So, and of course, my mother is from Liverpool, England. She was, and that was a big thing for her, the Beatles coming to America. Go Liverpool, Yeah. So you're just a little older than me. I will turn the big 7-0 on the first full day of spring 2026. 2026. I can't believe it myself. I can't. I'm happy about it if I make it. I don't want to not make it, you know. I only have faith like a mustard seed sometimes. Other times it's a little bit bigger of a deal. Peace and love to all. What are you, Ringo? You like Ringo, do you? I'll tell you what, I do too. Saw him at Radio City Music Hall with the All-Star Band in 2005. That was the second marriage. I usually look at things by which marriage I was in. Of course, I don't talk about my third or fourth wife. They both just disappeared mysteriously. One of them, the last thing they heard was, "You serve a delicious roast beef dinner with a scoop of white rice?" With a scoop of white rice? I'm joshing Rhonda Wolf. Is John Bourne here, or are you talking to me? No, she's talking to John Wilson. Where are you, John Bourne? You're not here? Miles Wright is here. I love that name. Makes me think you're a jazz musician, for obvious reasons. Are you related to Judy Wright? Where's Judy Wright? So, yeah, what can I tell you about Bruce? I mean, I don't take these people seriously. They usually know nothing about what they're talking about. Oh, I don't mind if you have objections with some of the way that ICE has done their job. Of course, they're being blocked 3 ways to Sunday some of the times, which I think is nonsense. But other times, I think you do have to be discreet. If grandma's been here a long time, if someone is 55, 60 years old and they've lived in this country undocumented and they've lived a fruitful life, I don't think there's any need to get rid of them. I really don't. We're number one target, of course, are the criminals, the people that have committed heinous acts. So I heard a story from my own son saying someone in his significant other's family has been detained, and now the wife's got no way to pay the bills and what have you. So I'm not sensitive to this. I don't think you have to toss everybody out. I don't. But people that have come here recently under the last 4 years of the Biden administration and what have you, that's a whole different story. And if you've committed any kind of a crime, I'm not talking about a traffic stop and you didn't have a license. I'm talking about any kind of a violent crime. No, 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 no. You came in here. You didn't go through the due process. If you came in and applied for citizenship, you'd be guaranteed a hearing. But I don't think we can give a hearing to millions of people that just waltzed in because we happen to have a commander in chief that in the last few days we have learned more than ever was a cognitive mess who couldn't remember when his son died, couldn't remember when his son was in the military, couldn't remember when President Trump, as number 45, assumed the office. He was he was just obviously, I guess the drugs didn't work that day, and he was forgetting everything and not capable of running the office. So, who was signing that auto pen? Who was signing legislation, including those 225 judges that were appointed by Biden to block Trump? In other words, the Biden crime family has no desire for the will of the people, for their voice to be heard. Before he left office, he and his minions did everything they could to stop the will of the majority of the people. They are, in my opinion, they're not good Americans, obviously, at all. They don't love this country. They want to destroy this country. And then there's when I was yesterday, I went down to Westchester Medical Center. Karen has had a little bit of the sniffles and stuff, and she doesn't like those drives. You know, she's always grabbing onto the handle above her door. You know, I know a lot of women do this, and I imagine some guys do it too. You know, I don't ride with enough guys, but it's a common occurrence. But yeah, I've never really had a real accident. Give me a break. I've been driving since 1972. And I'm aware that I got the XYZ and the millennials out there, and you got to be careful because you're going to see some stuff. You're going to see that guy who's barreling in and out behind you, pulling in front of people, no directional, and he's getting away with it or she's getting away with it. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Pat is here. Oh, yes, Pat Pate. Hello, everybody. Welcome to you. Teresa Lee Leonard as well. Hello, Jack and family. So, as for Bruce and what have you, and AOC, they better not start arresting representatives. Well, it depends what they do. If we have video of you body slamming an ICE agent, I'm sorry, that's a bridge too far. And I would think 30 days in the pokey, you don't have to say you're going to lose your office. 30 days in the pokey would be real good for you, would be real good for you. It might make you think twice. So it might make you think twice. You have to prearrange a meeting, but they're so crafty. They'll do a sit-in inside the jail, and then they'll be hauled out that way. No, you don't. Oh, this whole thing that Letitia has said. Oh, the law applies to everybody. Well, not her, right? Not her. If it happens to her, she's just a victim. So we'll take 34 charges for Trump when all it was is an expired statute of limitations ran out on a bookkeeping error. Something was put in the wrong column, and we'll turn that into 34 felonies. So stars like Bruce Springstien can call him a convicted felon, 34 felonies and what have you. Give me a break. Give me a break. So there you go. Who is Camden? Two people are saying it here. Did I miss somebody? All right, Brenda, your cell phone is dying. See you all Wednesday. It's time for my meds, everyone. Have a good week. Bye-bye. Take care. Brenda, God bless. Yeah, Jack, I will be 70 in July, and I can't believe it either. So you're just a tad older than me, huh? A little bit older than me. Yeah, it is. It is weird, right? It was just yesterday. We had our long hair and our wild bell bottoms or flares, and grooving to rock and roll by Led Zeppelin, and maybe you liked the disco, and maybe you didn't. I did. I love the disco. I loved anything pop, but I also appreciated good hard rock and roll that I could hear the lyrics to. I'm not a metal guy, but there are exceptions to that. Having said that, there are exceptions to that. So 103 watching right now to Worldwide Ramblings here at the Virtual Church of the Disillusioned. Please hit the subscribe button, the like button, and the notification bell. If you can hit the thanks button here for a few dollars, that would be very much appreciated as well. Let's do some Bob Joyce. Let me go to my channel here. I often forget exactly how I word things. Go to live. Bob Joyce story needs to be told correctly. Let me respond to video I was watching just yesterday from the competition. Already said that, it's important how you begin a video. It's important how you begin it. If you're glancing down at notes, that's a good thing. That means you've prepared for it. You have an order of what you're going to talk about and what have you. That's a good thing. You also have a responsibility to be a compelling speaker, that you develop a rapport with the audience. I know that you haven't developed a rapport because, my God, you're making very important announcements and you should be getting a bigger response to them. You got to build that rapport. And if you treat this story as something where you're just like throwing water balloons in various directions and, you know, uh, hoping that your audience will come up with a good question or something like that, they may and they may not, it may not be the day for that. So um, you always have to be prepared for that. Having said that, right now, tonight, I'm just winging it. After a while, you get used to winging it, but you know that you have to look for stories, and you've got your sources. You've got your sources. I've got mine. That song. You've got your troubles. I've got mine. But anyway, you uh, losing my train of thought. The presentation is very important. Um, the gentleman came onto the scene in like 2023, he says, talking about this. I remember it more as 2024, and I knew that I had a force to deal with because he's more tech savvy and what have you, and he was going to do a lot of that, and it wasn't so much just church video, um, but it was. It was more original work than I've seen in recent months, and he started to get a tremendous amount of views for, relatively speaking, much more than me at first, and was making a considerable amount of money doing it. He would say that, well, I'm not asking for money. Well, no, because you're making plenty of it per 1,000 views. So I can understand that. We're kind of small fish in a big pond here. But I'm very blessed that I've had an audience that I've built since 2016 that cares about me. And that's a rapport that you have to build first before um, you can expect them to really care about you. I've been very blessed with that. But for years, I was on here and nobody much cared about me. And, the Bob Joyce topic certainly helped that. And the live shows really did a lot for that. So, um, John Wilson hits the thanks button for $10 to help keep the lights on. Yeah, that's important because especially in the winter, the utility bills around here in upstate New York go way up. They're starting to go down a little bit now, but yeah, there's things that we're going to need. You never know when I'm going to need another mic. Um, I would like better lighting, as you happen to mention that. And the next thing is going to be a new camera. We'll still have this as a backup, um, but a new camera would be the next thing that I would like to see. I don't know about green screen. Maybe people seem to like what we have here, and I change it up and what have you. So right now I'm cool with that. But thank you, John, for hitting the thanks button for $10. Um, so that that kind of compensates for the fact that I'm not going to be getting 500,000 views or what have you. But right on the Household of Faith screen, it says copyright the year. You know, Pastor Bob Joyce, Household of Faith. It says all that. So just putting up a lot of church video in length. I commented that on that early on. I said, I don't do that. I don't take somebody else's work and put my name on it. But we both know that there's a thing called fair use. So when you're dealing with something that fits into the story you're telling, to use a clip is fair use. They'll back you up on that. Um, that's a whole different story. I do remember one of my sources, that's also one of yours, saying to me, "Gee, this guy, he got more hits than we did, way more hits," and so that takes away from Pastor Bob. You can figure that out, right? You took views away from him by putting up your own video with your name on it of the same thing, and maybe he would have got more hits if you hadn't done that. To be as clear as a bell as I can be, you know? So there is that. But uh and this story, if it's going to be done right, needs a chronological storyteller. And I think I'm still the only one per se with any kind of regularity because there are so many ins and outs. Storm Dancer, Storm, $20 on the thanks button. You're brand new. I love it when brand new people do it. Certainly your handle is brand new anyway. Storm Dancer, $20. Thank you so much on the thanks button. The other way, if you have Cash App, is which you have to load from the App Store. It's green with a dollar sign going through it. You have to link your checking account to it. I use it to pay bills, to receive, obviously, here. It's when it comes tax time, it's real easy. I just tell my tax woman, Anna, I say anything that I paid out is simply that. I'm paying mostly a bill. Anything that I've received is a tip, This is a virtual tip jar. So Media Guy 56 is my handle on Cash App, lowercase letters, MEDIAGUY 56. I was born in the year 56. Lowercase letters, Media Guy 56. Now I get more of it when you do it that way, but I'm very grateful to Google. I'm very grateful to YouTube for supplying me with a thanks button here, which I didn't have for the first 6 years that I did this channel. At least 6 years, more than 6 years. But I did it because I love the topic. Didn't start the Bob Joyce topic to 2018. Yeah. And don't feel bad about having a thanks button, and don't feel bad about asking for people. That's all I have to say. You have to lay out the story, starting with 1977 and coming all the way through. You have to tackle some of the important issues. Do you believe in the two Bob Joyce theory? I have no idea. If you don't, there's a whole lot of things I'd like to find your explanation for, including, I mean, you have eyes, ears, and a nose, nose for news. You have to explain why you don't, if you differ with that. You can say that there's a lot of coincidences, and I've been saying that for a number of years now, but you have to kind of lay it out, and you have to deal with things like, did he go to George Klein's funeral? Was he officiating the Lisa Marie Presley funeral? I didn't say the public ceremony. He wasn't there for that. He preached opposite it. I'm talking about Pastor Bob Joyce. So, there's a lot to lay out. And if you don't do it that way, and then you put up people's work in these shorts from that AI voice that you hear all the time that is saying one thing in one video and contradicting him what he said in another video. Or sometimes in the same video they contradict themselves. So that's not what a responsible storyteller does. So enough of that. Storm Dancer. Uh-oh, the lights are flickering. It's scaring me. We could lose the signal. It went out before. I'll come back and do another stream if we do. Maybe just that lamp, though. I'm looking over here. This lamp to the right of me has crashed to the floor so many times. I wouldn't be surprised if it started smoking. Where are you watching, Storm Dancer? Carmen Sylvia from New Zealand. Hello, you lovely people. So we hit that at about 50 minutes in, right? 49, 50 minutes in. Let me write that down here. So the story keeps growing. And they're very gracious too, And the only other thing I want to say about my main competition is that, can I find a pen that works? The other thing I want to say to my main competition, Matt, is that God bless you for your service. You're a better man than I. I could not have done what you did. And I wish you a complete healing. Glad to hear that you finished your chemotherapy, your round of chemotherapy. I'm hoping that the results are 100% positive for you and that you make a complete and full recovery. We ask that of Jesus in Jesus' mighty holy name. And I mean that as sincerely as I can mean it. So where are you, Storm Dancer? Hi to you. 108 folks watching. Thanks for reminding me, because look, it kicked up to 112, 64 watching right now. And Mickey Kaufman, somebody new, truly believe that Bob Joyce is Elvis Presley. Too much evidence proves that. And you're all legends that give to Jack. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So that really, it's important how you do lives. It really is, because people, 25 million people, whatever it was, in one given day tuned into Rush Limbaugh, not to hear Joe from Brooklyn, who we might eventually put on the phone as a caller. They tuned in not to hear some great guest he was going to have, but to hear Rush just sit there in front of a golden EIB microphone, first at WABC in New York, and then eventually at his beautiful home in Florida. And just be Rush in a style that has never been imitated, although there are other people that are great. What's his name? The gentleman from Cincinnati, Ohio. Got his picture back there. We've talked about him. He sounds like Rush. Really very interesting. I'll get the name, but right now it escapes me. Tess says, please pray for my friend's 8-year-old daughter, just not diagnosed with leukemia. Her name, okay, there it is. Now I'm seeing it, is Camden. It's an interesting way to spell it, too. I've never seen that before. Camden. How do things like that happen? That's on my list of things I just don't understand. But I don't base my decision to follow Christ on things I do and don't understand. I base it on the experience of receiving Christ in '84 and the Holy Spirit showing me the authenticity of His word, even though there are scriptures I couldn't begin to understand. Um, so, Lord, we lift up young Camden. We lift we lift her up. I'm assuming. Yeah, her name is Camden. We lift Camden up. Lord, we know that you love the little ones. You said that you did. You said that he who hurts one of these little ones, be better for them to have a millstone tied around of their neck and they would be tossed into the deepest sea. We know you love the little ones. So we come to you tonight for Camden, little Camden, and we ask that you heal this child. And Lord, we know there's people in Shriners Hospital, St. Jude's, and many other places with cancer and what have you. Um, these are things I don't understand, but Lord, I pray your healing touch on each and every one of them. I've come to learn that you heal when you want to heal, and I'm not always going to understand because your ways are not my ways. Your plan is not something that I am aware of. I'm not God, you are. So, Lord, but we do present our supplications, our prayers for Camden tonight for a complete healing. In Jesus' mighty name, the great physician. I didn't feel that as something that could wait. Brenda Sweeney, BK, and 113 remains, unless it's frozen. um, I love disco, says Jupiter's Realm. Me too. Born to be alive. Born to be alive. Yeah, love Donna Summer. Loved the Village People. They were a lot of fun. In the Navy. I won't tell my Village People story again. Just going back to where we are here. Oh, here's David Tanner, Martial Arts. Hey, Mr. Jack. Well, hi, David. How's business down there? How's business? Storm Dancer, been watching long time, really. And I never knew it. Unless you have a new handle. You might have a new handle and you have a other handle that I would know right away. That could be. That could be. Usually I would know if it's an old handle of someone that kind of didn't like me or kind of didn't like our topic or what have you, because it would come out pretty quick. And I'd be able to say, I wonder if that's so and so, you know? I see the name TODD here. Hello there, Gail George and Teresa Lee Leonard. Always good to see you both here. Thank you. Rocky Mountain Red Wing. Hello, Jack and everyone. May the Holy Spirit protect our president and his family. Amen. From a brood of vipers and a brood of, it just amazes me. So, anyway, I was coming back from my appointment with Dr. Naidu. Everything went very well. Only have to go every 6 months now for my little cardiac sonogram to make sure that the Camzyos continues to do its job. I'm hoping I can stay on it since New York City is changing their drug plan. I don't know what the copay is going to be yet. So we're hoping it won't be terrible. Um, but I was coming back, and Sean Hannity is he was coming back, I'm sure, from Saudi Arabia, so he wasn't going to be on the air Friday. And now that he's, married and he's got a kid on the way. Now, Karen, does anybody know? All of a sudden, my back got awful itchy. I have something for that. My back gets itchy. I hope I can reach it because it's a little lower than usual. Hydrocortisone, does the trick. I'm on an older toothbrush, and I put it down there. Oh yes. Craig Ferguson. You ever watch his late night show? He's coming back to late night, by the way. He really was. Now that I watched the clips on Rios, he really was good. A little naughty, but good for the most part. He was talking about he's in his 60s, and you get a lot more itchy in your 60s, And he was talking about cortisone cream, and he has to apply it, but he tend to gesture where he would most need to apply it. Todd Bradshaw from Tennessee. Hello, Todd. We're going to get that camera this week. As soon as I hear from my friends at Google, that'll be part of it. Buying a new, is it 4G camera? Maybe you'll be able to see things a little clearer. I don't know. I think it's time. Rick Robinson, Jack, how you doing? I'm doing well. As I say, I was coming back from Westchester Medical Center. I go so early because you never know what you're going to run into, and I don't want to go Bear Mountain Bridge, all those windy turns, and there's a cliff there and all that. So I really want to go down the thruway. I can go Palisades and get off just before the Mario Cuomo Bridge, formerly the Tappan Zee Bridge, but it's a different bridge, so they tore the Tappan Zee Bridge down. So I'm leaving at like 11:30, getting gas, and then I'm there in the parking lot by 105. Talked to my son a long way down. He was finishing up his route. Heard a little of Mark Simone first, who's great on 710 WOR. You can hear him all around the country. And had my appointments first with the tech woman, and then I saw Dr. Naidu, and he is a nurse practitioner as well, and that went well. And so I'm on the road by about 3 o'clock, and it's Friday, so that means the traffic is going to be heavy. But I'm going to the thruway till I get to exit 13. Excuse me. And that's the Palisades Parkway. I say goodbye to all the 18-wheelers and buses and what have you, cement mixers. And I get on the Palisades Parkway where it's just cars and, the kind of truck Bubba drives. And, or Darlene. It's a good country name. And I'm listening to WBAI in New York City. Or was I really later I was doing that? I think I was listening. And, it was just like, so anti-Trump and what have you. And so, they're singing the praises of Malcolm X and talking about their rallies and their protest rallies. They're going to have up on 125th Street and 168th Street. There's a big event coming and all this stuff. And I'm thinking, everything the man does is wrong to them. What they want to do, they're talking about Palestine. Where is Palestine, by the way? Can you find it for me on the globe? And of course, they're talking about Gaza. Now, I'm not saying that they couldn't have approached Gaza a little differently. I think it was too heavy-handed sometimes, and absolutely young children were killed, and that's terrible. It's terrible. They're all God's children and what have you, especially once you got the ground troops in there, because it's very difficult because they'll use those kids as human shields, Hamas, But no mention of what happened in Israel on October 2023. No mention of all the atrocities. And then they're talking about, oh, those poor students that were demonstrating, what they were trying to do was stop classes from happening. They were terrorizing Jewish students and screaming slogans that are clear from the river to the sea. That means they want all the Jews to be eliminated. We're actually talking about this in 2025. It's like we're now worse than Selma, Alabama in 66. And remember, that's not that way anymore in Alabama. And even Governor George Wallace had a total change of heart and apologized for his views. Apologized for his views. God got a hold of his heart, got a hold of his heart. So there you go. But they want to take their country, wherever they came from or their relatives came from, and they want to turn America into that. Could you imagine if we went into Norway and tried to put Yankee Stadium in Norway and all the American ways in Norway or Sweden or Russia? They'd go back to where the Islamic people are, and they'd find out no, they want an American version of Islam here, and they hate the country. They want to take their culture and make it their culture right here in the heart of Brooklyn. So, what can I tell you? What can I tell you? As a kid, I used to listen to WBAI. It was different than it is now, but it was still very much a fringe rebellious station. Good night, Barbara Kendall. Glad you stopped by. Cynthia Caldwell. Hi, Jack and everyone. Well, hello there. Where are you from, Cynthia? I know you've been here before, but you know me. It's so hard to remember all these places. Pastor Bob is a fantastic preacher and singer in person. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to go to emails and see what I can tell you. As we said a few shows back in a pre-recorded video, the documentary is a real thing. It's a real thing. It's really going to happen. And I think I could say it's authorized by Pastor Bob Joyce, who trust in God, who trust in God. Let's see. Yeah. Let me refresh first of all. That's always important to do. Okay. Breaking news, folks. Breaking news. Just for you. I may put this in a pre-recorded video. It's not very long, though. Oh, Alabama. You're going to want to hear this breaking news, Alabama. Do I have any Alabama people here? I hope so. Coming this October, an evening with Pastor Bob Joyce in Coleman, Alabama, halfway between Huntsville and Birmingham. This is from a very reliable source. Why am I losing your other email? This happens to me. All as I know, since I seem to have lost the original email, all I know, I'm thinking of the Art Garfunkel song. Just give me a chance to scroll down here a little bit. That's a good idea, you know. Hope they have a big size hall. Well, I'll tell you more when I can find it. But Pastor Bob Joyce will do an evening concert, probably preach a little bit and talk to people and answer questions, meet people in October in Alabama, in Coleman, Alabama. So we'll tell you more about that. Let's see here. Okay. Terry, if you're watching, if you want to say hello, I think I'll hold on anything else because you didn't really tell me any details and I'm not trying to steal your thunder. Um, it might be something that we should discuss in advance before you say it publicly. Um, but well, it's your story, it's your story or your tidbit. Rhonda and Rita, would you agree that Pastor Bob has a special presence around him? Everybody says that. It's the anointing of the Holy Spirit. That's how come he seems to drop 20 years in his age when he starts preaching. The Spirit comes on him. It was an inspirational experience. So glad I went. I'll leave the last part out. Here's Katina. There's no Palestine. Yeah, exactly, right? They want to make one right here in one of the 5 boroughs, I think, and other places too. They are the Philistines. Remember Goliath, according to Amer, I won't even try, to a preacher from Israel. No, I don't know the verse. You'll have to quote the verse if you want to. Yeah, well, it's there's not a variety of messiahs for you to pick from. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes to the Father but through him. Do you have to believe that? No. He gives you free will. He's not looking for a flock of robots. So it's your choice whether you want to accept it or not. So now we want to go. We want to include Pennsylvania in the Bob Joyce tour, huh? You never know. Blue sky suns. I experienced a weird energy in the jungle room at Graceland recently. The jungle room. What did it feel like? You're not going to get all ghost adventures on me, are you? But the thing that just annoys me, Katina, is they literally think that while they hate the United States of America and they are bold enough to say, kill all the Jews, Jesus chose to come to earth as a Jew. Last I checked, he's coming back to Israel. That's another thing. I love Candace Owens. I love Tucker. And I don't believe we should just go around trying to start wars. President Trump likes to say, I don't start wars, I end them. But he's also clear to say sometimes you do have to get involved. We are commanded in the Bible to be a friend of Israel, to stand with Israel. They've been a great friend to us. So usually Netanyahu handles things himself. So I don't understand where Candace Owens is going with all the talk. Now, I do understand that she thinks the way things were handled in Gaza, the way they killed so many children and what have you, she's very much against that. I understand that part. But that does not negate what the greatest book of all time says, is that Christians have to be pro-Israel. It is the sacred land. They are the chosen people. We don't even understand all that, because many of the chosen people reject Jesus. Then there's a scripture that says, how many in one day? 300,000 just in one day, Jewish people will come to a saving knowledge of Jesus Christ. We don't know all this stuff. Oh, so many of the talk people think they got to know everything about everything and spout it off, and it's just not that way. So you have to be pro-Israel. That doesn't mean you have to be pro every decision Benjamin Netanyahu has ever made. I get it. I think overall you will find he's a pretty decent guy. And when you compare him to the likes of Putin, the likes of Zelensky, the likes of most of the people that live in a country, well, some of these countries are run by dictators and some aren't. But I think there's a lot of positive traits in Benjamin Netanyahu. He was not prepared for what happened, and there's no excuse for that. He himself has admitted that when all the smoke clears, that could be the thing that gets him out of office, because they should have had all the time. They should have had a presence at uh, the border, near the border, and what have you. They should have had fighter jets in strategic locations that could immediately come up and engage. And when they had that summer concert there with all those kids and what have you, they should have had plenty of armed guards and planes that could reach them pretty quickly. That all should have been in existence. Biden was asleep at the switch as well. They were training just a few miles away from the Israel-Gaza border. So a lot of mistakes were made there, including the U.S. intelligence. So what can we say? What can we say? What could I say? I got all choked up and I put down my gun. I called him my pa and he called me his son. And I walked away with a different point of view. But I will never name my son Sue, Bill or George, anything but Sue. Hi, Mickey Kaufman. What do you think about all this? I believe that too. And I believe he misses touring as well. Oh, we're talking about Bob Joyce. Okay. Um, well, he's 90 years old if he's still with us, and he just can't do that. That's why, obviously any other pastor in their 50s, 60s, into their 70s would have said, my God, the church is full. The overflow room is full. We'll go to two services. We'll do 9 and 11:30. We'll do 9 and 11:30. But man, you see how much he puts into that. He can't do that twice on a Sunday morning. It's just too much. So now they're opening up a new sanctuary, which won't solve the problem at all. There could be as many as twice as many seats. I don't know about the overflow room. Belinda Taylor, find out. Ask around about that overflow room. What kind of facilities are they going to have for people that can't fit into the new sanctuary? Because that's going to happen real quick. I still think they're probably going to have to either find a department store that's closed in Benton, or Hot Springs, rent a hall every Sunday until it is. Till the new really big sanctuary is constructed, if it ever really is. For some reason, I have doubts about that. Jack, I think the pastor, Bob Tour, is just another layer to the confirmation that he's still alive. I think the documentary is a big, big thing. But we're in the infancy stages of that, and we'll have to see how that plays out. But man, that is wild. They could do a live service online. Live is tricky. They don't want to do that because they like to edit out things they don't want you to see. People sometimes have personal requests. Joe Osteen does do that. Of course, when you see Joe Osteen on TV, it's 29 minutes. It's just him preaching. You don't hear the choir or anything. And I'm not comparing Bob to Joel. I think Pastor Bob is far more biblically centered, before people think I'm saying that, yeah, Joel's just like Pastor Bob. No, I understand. He's not. Um, he's the biggest voice on the planet, but in terms of preachers, if not everybody. But the 13, $14 million house, the $1 million car, and what have you. No, I don't think it's a good representation. And although he's gotten better, there's not enough scripture in there, and positive thinking is not the gospel of Jesus Christ. Amen, Katina? Yeah, and it's good sometimes to edit because there's parts that don't play well, and you want to have a tight version. So somebody screams out something they don't really want being screamed out, you're not going to hear it. We'll wait for the pastor to accidentally say it. Yeah, they'll usually keep it in too. I admire that. Neon, how are you? Name it, claim it. That's what they call Pastor Joel. Yeah, I've heard, if you want to hear somebody really explain why Joel is so far off from the mark without sentencing him to hell, he just believes he's in error a lot, not 100% of the time. Mike Winger right here. Mike Winger is a little legalistic sometimes, but Mike Winger has a whole series on Joel Osteen. The church kept copywriting him. He had to fight it. I think it might have even went to a legal thing. But he was able to keep his videos up, I believe. I remember at the news of Elvis's death, the ministers in my area were all saying he went to hell. That's a sad, sad thing. I was 20. I sat in the chair and cried out for Elvis. I told God that Elvis loved him. Okay. Well, God looks at the heart, so he knows whether he did or he didn't. I often say that, when he was doing those early gospel albums and what have you, I don't think he had that born again experience with Jesus Christ yet, because the proof is in the pudding. After those gospel albums, he was hanging out with Larry Geller, the hairdresser, and studying various Hinduism and gurus and New Age thought. And you just don't do that if you're born again. You just don't do that. Only unless you're doing a study on that and you want to, you got to know. That's when you would pick up the book of the Bhagavad Gita, or that's when you would look and see what is really in Islamic teachings. And you don't have to get too far into that reading where you'll find out that those that are not Muslims are infidels. You'll see it right there. So Osama bin Laden may have been a sinner, I guess, even by Islam's terms, but he was basically, in terms of what he believed, a good Muslim. Good night, Pam Nisley. It's 1:30 on Sunday afternoon here where I live in Australia. Cool. But chilly. So how long will it stay chilly, Jackie? Do you have a long winter, if we want to call it that? I have to say goodnight. Sweet dreams are made of this. Sweet dreams and prayers. Thank you, Katina. And the waves from Pennsylvania. How could Elvis went to hell while he is alive? When he is alive, those preachers sure are something. Well, there are those hellfire and brimstone is all they know. There are preachers that can't get through a sermon without it, like that Australian guy who Kurt Cameron had a show with on the Trinity Broadcasting Network, Ray something. What's his name? Ray Comfort, right? Ray Comfort. My God, he marrying a couple. He's marrying a couple, and he's starting to preach hellfire and brimstone in the middle of their ceremony. God's not going to tell him that you didn't cover it. He definitely covers it. Nice chat, says Rita Faye Tanner. So are you married to David Tanner Martial Arts? And are either of you related to Biff Tanner? Oh, wait a minute. He's a fictional character. Saw him over at the Chiller Theater. I did. I didn't spend the money for the autograph and what have you and the photo or whatever. I just didn't. Budget is too tight for that kind of stuff. Jack, have you read the Household of Faith website? Yeah, I'm hearing there's new stuff coming on. I got to check it again, where they state the internet rumors of two different men are false. Certainly have. But I've got so much on that these days. And with the man who answered the door when Greg Pritchard came to town, I mean, what am I going to do? God gave me eyes. I can see. And I think if we were to poll about the audience here, at least at the time, it was like 85, 90%, two different guys. I just went there last Sunday. That wasn't the man I saw. So, I don't know. What can I say about that? You know, if one of them never preached, then you could say that, okay, yeah, there's only one preacher there. But someone was saying, I guess it was my competition, was saying that Pastor Bob has been preaching for 54 years. What? Do you realize when he married Willina in 1975, Robert Wayne Joyce, Elvis was very much alive being Elvis? You don't explain all that. You know, that's not something you just throw one or two sentences out. You've got to really go through this. If you're going to do it properly, you got to go through it. And so I don't know what to do with that. Your walking jukebox there, Jack. I'm just begun, especially if we go Beatles, you know, Beatles and Elton and Billy Joel and, you know, obviously I loved Hart, Annie Wilson. I guess she's recovering because she's going to tour. They're going to have a Hart tour. So I guess she's recovering, and that's wonderful. Who am I to disagree? Travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody's looking for something. Sweet dreams are made of this. What a voice. Annie Lennox, right? Todd Bradshaw from Sail on Titan, Texas, Tennessee. I'm all confused, Todd. I'm more confused than Jim Biden talking to that DOJ guy, assistant DOJ guy, for 6 hours. But yeah, so many songs I've loved. To all the girls I've loved before. I just thought of a rhyme that I will not use. Well, I won't completely use it. And one or two of them turned out to be a real. Michael Tusa, what am I saying? Good day from Australia. It's wet and cold here at the moment. So how long is your winter, since I don't believe our other Aussie is telling me a thing? You are married to a tanner. He passed away last August. I'm very sorry to hear that. Rita, we have two Ritas now. The other one I call Lovely, Rita, Rita Maid. Yes, that's a Beatles song too. The long and winding road that leads to your door. Anybody excited about McCartney Star 2026? 2026, McCartney Star, the tour that you don't want to miss. Why don't they get Julian Lennon to play? Why don't they get him in there as part of the tour? Can we do this? Is this too much to ask? Is this too much to ask? Come on, get Julian in there. This would be electrifying. It's electrifying. I better give up, because I need a friend. Mickey Kaufman, I'm going crazy, crazy, crazy for feeling so lonely. You know when that song meant a lot to me? That song, Crazy, was in Doc Hollywood when, wish I could remember the actress's name. She never, became a big star, but she played Wallulah, right? Or was that the other woman? Michael J. Fox's girlfriend in Doc Hollywood, who would become his wife then in the movie. The end of the movie, might as well tell you the end, had David Ogden Stiers in it, God rest his soul. He just came out as gay and he's dead. How do you do that? I guess he said something earlier. But David Ogden Stiers in Doc Hollywood as the mayor was phenomenal. Phenomenal. I just love that character of the mayor in Doc Hollywood, but Woody Harrelson as the competition for Michael J. Fox, and thinking that the poor guy Michael J. Fox had to finish the movie, the second part of the movie, having just received knowledge that he had Parkinson's disease, and he had to finish it with that knowledge. And the doctor said, "Oh, don't worry, you can work for another 10 years." Oh, okay. And then it's all downhill from there, huh? Oh, dear. Robin Roman. I went to Graceland. I've heard of it. Off the Jungle Room, I rested my legs on a blocked-off staircase. Since then, I realized that there was the private staircase that Elvis used from upstairs to the kitchen. Yeah, of course, that's where he'd want that to go, see how his breakfast was coming, right? His mashed taters with the burnt up bacon. Yes. And you heard voices, right? Haymond Tanner hung out with Randy Travis in the 80s. Huh. She sang that to Neo. Right? John Wilson? Get Julian. Get Julian. Now, who can we use for George? Any ideas on George? George's son is a musician, right? He looks like him, right? Am I right about this? Now I got to look this up. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, he does. He must have named him after one of these Hare Krishna names, folks. Dehane Harrison. Oh, yeah, he looks like him. Oh, yeah, he does. Harrison's first marriage to model Patty Boyd in 1966 ended in divorce in 1977. This is what they choose to say about him first. In the following year, he married Olivia Arias, with whom he had a son, same name as him, Dhani. What happened to his son? I'm learning about him in real time. He is a musician. He has followed in his father's footsteps, working as a musician and composer, has collaborated with his father on music projects before his death, and he continues to honor his father's legacy through his own music and work on remasters of his father's albums. So now we got to hear him. But I have a feeling when I hear him, I'm going to say, let's put him in there. This is too good. I mean, let's face it, guys. McCartney and Ringo are well into their fourth quarter. They don't hit the notes like they used to, especially McCartney. He can't sing Maybe I'm Amazed anymore. He can't do it. But he still got somewhat of a voice. And I think we're on to something here. I think we need all four of them out there. What do you think? Vera Regaldo is here. No, I'm not saying it right. I'm never going to say your name right. I just want to call you Regaldo, but I should learn to pronounce your name correctly. Vera Regaldo. I tried. From Austin, Texas. Hello there. What's the temperature there, Vera? I know it's been hot. M. Silva from about 15 miles away had been telling me you've had 100-degree days, right? And I did check the temperature with Alexa. Hello, Jack from Austin, Texas. Hope to get to your region this year for sure. He does sound like George, says Tess. Well, we've got to do this then. Forget just having Paul and Ringo. We've got to get Julian, and we've got to get Honey in there. We do. And I'm glad that he's working. I love some of the solo George Harrison stuff. Blue Sky Suns. I did not feel Elvis energy in Graceland. Well, he wasn't there, was he? Just his cars and his airplane. You felt his airplane? You mean when you were near the airplane and the cars, you felt his energy? You know, that word energy always makes my antennas go up. Free to dream. That's because you were born free as the wind blows. Oh, that was awful low. Hi, Jack, from Clemson, South Carolina. Can't recommend enough, everybody. I'm going to do a pre-recorded video and try to play a little bit of his opening theme, and hopefully he won't object. Mark Lowry. It's the Lowry vocal band that he has now, but he comes on to the Facebook. His sing-along shows are called, and it's also on YouTube, Just Whenever he wants to, he does it. And you get a notification and you know he's on. And it's these wonderful gospel sing-alongs. He's the former lead singer of the Gaither vocal band. He's also a Christian comedian. He's 66 years old, and he uses a CPAP. So maybe if he can do it, I can do it. He's got this nice touring bus now. Says we don't have to stay in hotels anymore. He took us on a tour, and there was this CPAP hanging on the wall that he talked about. He's chubby, but he's not heavy, you know. He says, I earned this. One of my gospel buddies came up to me and said, dude, you got to do something about this. And it's not that big. It's not that big. It's that I earned this. But with that said, I do have to lose some weight. Very Southern. His hometown, though, is Houston, Texas. And this summer, he's having a birthday bash for 2 days in Deer Park, which is a suburb of Houston, Texas. Go to marklowry.com and get your tickets. I wish I could join you. I would like to go. I really would. Mark, Lowry, marklowry.com. See if you're struggling in your Christian walk and you need a time of edification. And Mark Lowry would never claim to be, a saint of God that has fully surrendered to the will of Christ and never messes up. He says, sometimes when I sing a particular song or a slong, like I Surrender All. I mean, how many people have sung, I surrender all, you lying mofo. No, you haven't surrendered all. Oh, I'm getting all these clicks here. Maybe I'm being texted by a certain guy, like West Palm Beach. I better look at my phone, him. Well, he is the grand patriarch, you know. Uh-oh, we have some kind of tragedy Karen is telling me about. A ship hit Brooklyn Bridge. 3 critical, 17 serious. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. So that's breaking news. Ship hitting the Brooklyn Bridge. I remember the Brooklyn Bridge. For it's the worst that could happen to me. I'm never gonna marry, never gonna marry. You know that's not my thing. But something I know, you need to be married. I've always known you could never live with me together in between. Baby. Okay, enough. I'm gonna get in trouble with YouTube. I'm doing too much of lyric. I heard they're inspecting what was on the ship. Hashish, perhaps? Haven't confirmed. Well, thank you. Keep me informed if you have anything on that. Former Beatle Ringo Starr claims the real Paul McCartney died in 66. I got a video on this, you know, and was replaced by William Campbell. William Campbell won a Paul McCartney lookalike contest. Now, go everybody here later today, tomorrow, go watch my Paul McCartney video. Let's get some more hits for that. As I tell the whole story there, and then watch the movie Paul McCartney is Really Dead on Tubi. Not right now, but watch it. It's done by the guy who's the Dylan freak who did a probably more than one documentary on Dylan. And the name of his studio offices are called Highway 61 Revisited, a famous Dylan album. So, yeah, there's a lot of twists and turns in there. If I were to say, is it a possibility? I would. William Campbell was better than Paul McCartney? I don't know. And no, it's not the other name. That's Ringo. Jeez, what the name they used to say? Ringo is what that name is. Ringo was called that name that they usually use as the name for Paul McCartney. But yeah, there's a lot of twists and turns there. They explain it all, but I think it has been referred to that movie, which is very good. Paul McCartney is Really Dead. They do refer to it as a mockumentary, like just like the 2011 Elvis thing. That's a mockumentary. Elvis was not living in a little ranch style house with in a general lower class neighborhood with a pink Cadillac in the front, and a lot of inaccuracies in the timeline too in that movie. You walked across the Brooklyn Bridge, huh? Well, I've driven across it, but it's been a long time. I got to go to bed, says Mickey Kaufman. Well, thank you for stopping. We've got the replay too. Get up early in the morning. See you all later. Good night, everyone, and God bless you. God bless you, Mickey Kaufman, and thanks for stopping. So I don't know, Todd. Oh, yes, Todd. I forgot. Back to the email. Hi, Keith. See what you sent me. Well, my first thank the Grand Poobah, not the Grand Patriarch, but the Grand Poobah, the Tennessee Titan himself, Todd Bradshaw, our number one donor, $40 on the Cash App for a 4K camera fund. It is 4K, right? I go back and forth, as you can see. I'm a imbecile when it comes to these things. 4K camera that will be purchased by Thursday, maybe Wednesday, for the 4K camera fund. And really, Todd, you've more than helped us with that. so many times, and I'm so very grateful for you. When we had our lean months for a few months there, especially, you were instrumental and being such an encouragement to me and many others here as well. So thank you for $40 on the Cash App, which if you have the Cash App on your phone, you can load it from the App Store, link your checking account to it, then people can give you money and do that, this, that, the other, send your grandkids money, whatever you want to do. I've never had a problem. Lowercase letters, my handle is Media Guy 56, MEDIAGUY 56, Media Guy 56. Nancy DeMarco, what are you showing us here? Let's see here. Pictures. Oh, yes. The sanctuary of the church. I don't think they'll be ready for this a week from tomorrow. So I think you may be right about June 1st. It's just like they partition so much of it off, you know? I don't know if yeah, there's the sound booth. They got a table set up. I'll show these pictures in a video that should be released tomorrow. What is that there, Nancy? Looks like barbed wire fence. What the heck is that? It's just plastic, and those are the chairs, right? Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? All right. I know. It's not fair to do this to you. It's not fair. I don't know. Yeah, those are the chairs. First, I thought it was barbed wire. When I try to put something up live, you never know. Pre-recorded, it's usually better. There you go. Looks pretty good, right? Thank you, Nancy DeMarco. The new chairs. How many chairs, Nancy? Yeah, baby. Show it to the family first. And let's see. One more picture. One more picture I'll take. Always like the family to see things first anyway. You made me so very happy. I'm so glad you came into my life. I love you so much, you see. You're even in my dreams. I can feel you. I believe that's a sound booth, and they got a lunch table set up there. Is this going to be one of those things where the people around the corner are going to have a hard time seeing the stage, the altar, I should say? Wait a minute. Maybe the way I've repositioned that light is helping me this time. So there you go. Thank you, Nancy DeMarco. Thank you, Todd Bradshaw. Oh, my goodness. I can't believe it's almost midnight. Do I have a slew of dishes to do downstairs? When Karen says there's a lot of them, oh, boy. Say, don't you realize I was just speaking to the world, and now you've got me doing dishes? I don't know if you've seen this comedian who kind of likes to talk about how crazy we've gotten with our sensitivity. So he does jokes that are politically incorrect, but he had a bit there. He said Mexican workers can do anything, anything if they understand what you're saying. Um, I told him, well, since you're here, my dishwasher isn't working, and he said, "Oh, I'll talk to her. I'll talk to her." Jeez. Oh, Jackie Organ. What can we say? What can we say? Actually chatted with the Commodores earlier. Really? The guy who sang Night Shift? That's a good song, right? And what were some of the other Commodore hits without Lionel? How'd you manage that, Neil? How'd you manage it? Did you do a live stream or something? We have 104 watching right now. Please hit the subscribe button and the like button. Have 81 likes. The notification bell. We do Worldwide Ramblings live usually on Wednesday evenings at 10 p.m. East Coast time. All right. We can pop on to pop off at any time. That's why you need the notification bell on, or also know when we put up a pre-recorded video. Our winter goes for 3 or 4 months. Yeah. Depending on the weather. We get frost, ice, and a little snow. Okay. Okay. Yes, chairs, not barbed wire. That's a little extreme, you know. Keith Bolton, not Michael Bolton, of course, spelled differently. You're happily welcome for the email images, Jack. I'm still here, buddy. Yeah. Now let me see. It's a really cool drawing of Elvis Presley that Keith sent us. I'm trying to keep a level head. You have to be careful out in the world. It's so easy to get turned. Well, isn't that the case? I mean, you will get turned. You just gotta, you gotta get your GPS to working and get back on track. And it's the Holy Spirit that's the real GPS. Take a picture of that. All right. I cut off part of the writing. There's the picture of Mr. Elvis Presley. Isn't that beautiful? Very well done. Thank you, Keith. We'll show the others probably in a pre-recorded video. Tammy Griffin hits the thanks button for $20. My goodness, thank you so much, Tammy. I appreciate that very, very much. We're behind this month of May, the merry, merry month of May. What I've had is a situation where my personal expenses are going up, unexpected expenses are happening. I'm waiting now to see what New York City retirement drug insurance is going to be like. I'm on 2 very expensive medications. I want to stay on them, but I can't stay on them if they go up to some astronomical. So these are things I would have, they don't change usually. I've been on since 2018 with the New York City retirement drug benefits, and they haven't changed for decades and decades, as far as I know. But here in 2025, they decide to change it, and they give you very little notice. So it affects everything else down the line. It affects everything else down the line. Plus, Karen's medical expenses that I have to help her with. Those will be coming up, and other things. So thank you so much, Tammy. That helps me very much. Thanks button is right down there. If you don't see it in the pre-recorded video right away, the replay, I should say, go to another recent video and you'll find it there. It all goes into the same pot for the third week in June. The third week in June. And of course, that's open until the 31st of May. Well done, Keith Bolton. Well done. Hopefully the captain was not smuggling again under the poop deck. Oh, snuggling. I said smuggling, didn't I? Snuggling again under the poop deck. No, he was just enjoying the company of his good friend Jack Daniels. Not his buddy Weiser. He didn't come along this time. Would you like me to recite all the lyrics to I Drink Alone by George Thorogood? When I drink alone, I like to be by myself. Love George Thorogood. He was great. Still is great, I suppose. Haven't heard him. Never seen him in concert live. A lot of good tunes, though. I wonder what the initial congregation feels about all the fanfare. Well, there's only 25% of the people that go there. They're so used to it. They come in a side door, you know. They get in first, and they should. They go to church there. 75% are visitors. A lot of them seem to enjoy it, right, Nancy? Right? I think Belinda's gone because she's got to get up awful early. Yeah. 82 degrees, says Vera, in Austin, Texas. There's a video on YouTube about George Harrison accepting the gospel before he died. Really? I'd really like to think that's true. That would be wonderful. That would be wonderful. He could have re-recorded My Sweet Lord and took out all that Hare Krishna stuff, you know? My sweet Lord, Jesus, Jesus, Holy Father, Spirit, Spirit. Love that song. That cost George Harrison a considerable amount of money when he got sued for it. But the judge said, Mr. Harrison, I know you didn't do this intentionally. I am a musician myself, and I'm sorry, but there's just too much of a similarity between He's So Fine, Wish He Were Mine, and My Sweet Lord, my sweet Lord. They're just a little too similar. I know you didn't do it deliberately, but subconsciously you remembered He's So Fine, and that worked. That worked, and you incorporated it into your song. And that led to a song that he did called Your Song, where he was talking about the woes of how you can get burned when you didn't intentionally intend to do something, you know? You made me think of all that. Well, he must have been pretty kinky if it was the poop deck there, Todd. I don't know. Things you shouldn't say during a radio show. Or is this not a radio show? So thank you, Tammy Griffin, for $20. I really appreciate that on the thanks button. And we're back. Pause for the cause there. They'll probably put a commercial in that in the replay. Good night, Rita. Thank you so much. Sing on. Yeah. I got a million of them. I'm not supposed to, though, you know, so I got to be careful. If you say first one was funnier, I've already forgotten what I said. So, I don't know what you're saying. Yeah. So there you go. June Joyner, I didn't even know you were here. Oh my goodness, June Joyner. Look at that. My goodness. June Joyner. And you always have to send me a private email in advance if you don't want me to mention the amount, okay? June Joyner hit the Cash App, sent you $50 for help where needed. Thank you, June Joyner. You and Todd there tonight on the Cash App, and I appreciate that so much. I'm happy when people hit the Cash App for $2 or $3 if that's what they can afford. I understand that. But thank you, June, very, very much. And thank you, Todd Bradshaw. And thank everybody on the thanks button. Not that I'm saying the show's over, not quite yet. You still have time. But what am I doing here? I don't even know. I'm hitting commercials on my Brenda Sweeney. Good night, Jack and everyone. Good night to you. Oh, yeah. So keep those folks that are critically injured from the ship hitting the Brooklyn Bridge. I don't know if they were on the bridge or if they were on the ship. There's Karen's mother, late mother and father. This was their bedroom at one time for many years. Their house, their bedroom. I never met her father, Robert Reed, but I did meet her mom and even helped take care of her when Karen would go to see the grandchildren in Georgia. There was a home health care aide that came in too, and Andy would help a little bit, Karen's son. But there they are. She probably won't like me putting up this picture because her eye makeup wasn't right here. There we are. Whoops. Don't want to drop the holy word of God. I will go to another version. I have many Bibles, Psalm 105, part of it in the New King James Version. Oh, give thanks to the Lord, call upon his name, make known his deeds among the peoples. Sing to him, sing psalms to him. Talk of all his wondrous works, glory in his holy name. Let the hearts of those rejoice who seek the Lord. Seek the Lord and his strength. Seek his face evermore. Remember his marvelous works, which he has done, his wonders and the judgments of his mouth. O seed of Abraham, his servant, you, children of Jacob, his chosen ones. Hear that, Candace. He is the Lord our God. His judgments are in all the earth. He remembers his covenant forever. The word which he commanded for 1,000 generations, the covenant which he made with Abraham and his oath to Isaac, and confirmed it to Jacob for a statute, to Israel as an everlasting covenant. Christians must be pro-Israel, must be 100% pro-Israel. Doesn't mean you have to agree with every decision that the government makes, but you have to be pro-Israel. And yes, we should spend American dollars to defend Israel. And they're very capable of defending themselves. They have an Iron Dome and we don't yet. So there you go. Thank you so much for joining me for Worldwide Ramblings. Thank you very, very much. Now, an early Sunday morning. I'll have a pre recorded video or two coming up real soon. And again, thank you to all, whether you hit the Cash App or the thanks button or you didn't. You're part of our family. You help us with the views, and I appreciate that very much. Till next time, big God bless you. Bye bye for now.